All right, so today we're jumping into one of the wildest cosmic crises you've ever heard of. And it was solved not with brute force or super genius tech, but with some truly awful singing and a flock of weaponized sheep. Yeah, you heard me right. And you don't have to take my word for it. Let's just start with this log entry from the ship's AI. Think about it. It basically says, look, what's about to happen is going to test the limits of probability, good taste, and musical sensibility. That pretty much sets the stage perfectly. So our story really kicks off with two completely separate things happening at the exact same time. You've got this collision course between the incredibly serious and the seriously, seriously absurd. And this right here just nails the hilarious contrast. On one side, you have our hero, Captain Cuckoo. He's decked out in a rhinestone jumpsuit, practicing Barbara Ann with a chorus of holographic sheep. On the other side, oh, just two of DC's top size-changing heroes, the Atom and Atom Smasher, showing up to prevent a universal catastrophe. The universe is literally on the brink, and the captain is worried about hitting the high notes. So the visiting heroes, Ray Palmer and Al Rothstein, they figure something out really fast. Their host, this Captain Cuckoo guy, he doesn't actually control his incredible powers. Not consciously, anyway. He only saves the day by pure accident. Tripping, fumbling, just general clumsiness. It is, without a doubt, the most ridiculous power source they have ever seen. And believe me, that little fact is about to become very important. Okay, so while that's all going on, let's talk about the actual threat, because it is a massive one. This entity calling himself the Magnifier shows up, and he's not just trying to take over a planet. He's threatening to rewrite the fundamental laws of physics. And this is not your typical bad guy. He's a former scientist who had a little lab accident with Pym particles and white dwarf star matter. You know how it is. And he became this cosmic being that exists at every single size all at once. We're talking subatomic and galaxy-sized, simultaneously. The only thing holding him together is this powerful artifact, his proportional anchor staff. Now, this is a huge problem. I mean, how do you even begin to fight a being who is size itself? He can shrink a planet down to a marble or make a dust mote bigger than a sun. You can't use size-changing powers on him. He's immune. He's already every size, so any kind of normal attack is just completely useless. And here's the real kicker. His goal isn't to conquer everything. He thinks the universe is boring. He wants to introduce pure chaos by making the very idea of size totally meaningless. He wants to turn atoms into solar systems and stars into sand just because he can. So the heroes are looking at like a 0.0000001% chance of winning. Things look bleak. And the solution, the one thing that can save them, comes from the absolute last place anyone would ever expect. The captain's truly terrible musical performance. In one magnificent, clumsy move, the captain turns his holographic backup singers into the universe's first ever multi-scale sheep chorus. They're not holograms anymore. They are real, physical beings, and they are all randomly shifting from microscopic to gigantic, all while bleeding ba, ba, ba across every frequency you can imagine. And right then, the team's scientists have this incredible aha moment. See, the Magnifier's power is all about precise, absolute control over scale. It's a kind of perfect order. But the sheep? They're now pumping out the exact opposite, a field of pure, random, totally uncontrolled chaos. It's the perfect counterfrequency to his power. So this is the moment where the absurdity gets weaponized. The heroes realize they can't fight control with more control. They have to do the opposite. They have to lean into the madness and actually conduct this symphony of chaos. Which brings them to the impossible question, right? You're up against a literal god of size. Your normal tactics are useless. Logic is completely out the window. So what do you do? And the answer is something they call the proportional paradox. You don't fight him. You overload him. By embracing total, weaponized randomness, they can create a containment field of chaos that his orderly mind just can't process or control. The singing, size-shifting sheep are the key. It's a plan so crazy it's brilliant, and everybody plays a part. You've got Wacko Warrior using telekinesis to arrange the sheep into a swirling chaos spiral. Super Stooge warps reality to trap the Magnifier in a bubble where size is fixed.
At the same time, the atoms hit him from both ends of the spectrum, attacking his staff at the macro and subatomic levels. But the final blow? Oh, that comes from the captain himself, who stumbles out of an airlock and accidentally delivers a perfect zero-gravity kick right to the staff's weakest quantum point. You can't make this stuff up.
And without that anchor staff, the villain's form just completely destabilizes. It falls apart. The heroes jump on that moment, using the sheep's chaos field to force him into a single, stable, and, for the first time, mortal size. Threat neutralized. So what's the big lesson here? What do you take away from a victory that chaotic, a win that depended on a bad Elvis impersonator and his woolly backup singers? I think the atom really hits the nail on the head. The scientific, logical approach was absolutely necessary, but it wasn't enough on its own. It was the other team's total embrace of the impossible, their willingness to weaponize something as silly as singing sheep, that actually won the day. And yes, the sheep not only saved the entire universe, but they were made permanent, official members of the crew. And what was their first act as crew members? They immediately formed a union and demanded better grazing simulations in the holodeck. Which, you know what? Fair now. And that's our look at this absolute bonkers cosmic crisis. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other completely unconventional solutions are just hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right kind of chaos to finally be unleashed?